The Fastest Sword is a 1968 Shaw Brothers film about Ding Menghao. He is the fastest sword who's really strong in martial arts. At the beginning of the film, he is chased down by three swordsmen and easily cuts them down because they want revenge for him cutting down their fourth member. So he often walks around, he's very flippant, he's very violent, and whenever someone challenges him, he quickly dispatches them. But however, keeps heaping on more vengeance. Every time he kills someone who wants to test his skills, usually someone related to that person always wants to come and kill them. This movie's related, very similar to The Gunfighter, another Western film with a very similar plot. But this one's about sword play and new chances and stuff like that. So the main story is that Ding Menghao, he basically meets an 80-year-old monk who says, "You kill too much, you know, we should have a duel. I'll just use my smoking pipe and you can just use your sword, and if I defeat you, you have to be my servant for 3 years." And Ding says, "Well, the same for me. If I defeat you, you gotta carry my stuff." And the monk defeats him and makes him become his disciple. So instead of making him do anything, they just sit and meditate, and it's boring. So he makes Ding do some calligraphy to sort of transfer some stuff from one paper to another, and then later tells him he should carve the giant rock into something else. And every 6 months shows up and says, the statue's pretty big, but maybe you should just make it a little bit smaller, make it more refined. And every 6 months he keeps doing this until finally he's let go, and he decides he doesn't want to be the fastest sword anymore. He wants to just be a stonemason, so he uses his new skill to hide out in a village. However, there's just so much stuff going on. People are very snoopy and they want to find out what's going on. Why is he carrying around a sword? Where does he come from? How come the bandits didn't attack him and they killed everyone else? The village is being harassed by the Flying Centipede gang, and there's also a couple of swordsmen who show up and they want to find Ding Menghao as well because he's disappeared for 3 years, and they still want to challenge him to test their skills. So his past keeps coming back, and that's kind of the main plot. There's some pretty simple action, but this is more of a character-driven story, which I really liked. It was definitely less about the swordplay and more about a man trying to change his image and his reputation. And he finally meets someone who won't let him go, and they have to have a duel in a temple and a really good ending. So The Fastest Sword definitely is one of the better Shaw Brothers films because its story is more character-driven, and the swordplay is still there and it's fine, but it definitely is more about the characters. So I give The Fastest Sword an 8 out of 10.